we have new singles, and boy, do we have a lot of singles. We have some that have been sent in by some of the audience because we are an esteemed music podcast. And no, seriously, we love that
I
we have people sending music in. Go ahead, Sean.
the audience face sends in their regards, and I like it.
Yeah. So the first song we have here is "Never Be in Love Again" by Midnight at Seven. These
Mhm.
folks are they're in their early 20s. They're fans of Audioface, so of course we move them right to the front. That's all you need to say. Just say you're a fan of Audioface, and you get prime selection on the podcast. You do not even have to pay for that. No, I'm kidding.
Just chilling out for Dan. I love it.
Yeah, so the band is Ryan DeCampo, who's the singer, Daniel Pinto, and Daniel Nessie. You also get bonuses for sharing my name. So it looks like there's very easy ways to chill on Audioface. Page Chill, Dan from the internet. No. So yeah, they produced this single with help from Simon Cohen, who's previously worked with Justin Bieber. I'll let that be where it is and let that sit. Konstantin Kirsting, who's previously worked with Tones and I, and Lauren Zervos, but the song was co-produced by the band. And as you can kind of tell, it has this really, so sort of like modern indie popish kind of flair.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
I really liked it. It was really catchy.
Yeah, I thought it was good too. Yeah, that really solid indie pop flavor. Easy to listen to. Production is clean and crisp, very well produced, and yeah, I thought it was a really nice single as well. It was pretty good
Yeah.
for anybody like an indie genre or pop genre. They'll like it.
Yeah. If you also, by the way, it's a good point to mention here, while we're in between these songs, that if you want to send in music, just reach out to us at on Twitter at AudiofacePod is our handle. We're at Instagram on Instagram at AudiofacePod, or you can email us at audioface at syndicate23.co. That's audioface at syndicate23.co. We'll try to like develop easier ways and other methods for people to submit things to us, but we appreciate that people are doing it. And we also encourage you to do it because we will be reading them
Hmm.
more often now. Um, and so the next song we have is Weeknights by Ryan Egan. This was also a submission to us. And this one takes a decidedly, slightly different tone from the last song. It's a little slower. I'd say it's a lot more like indie in that regard and less like
For
pop in that
sure.
sense. But you have some really nice production there, some really nice flair, and the latter half of the song really like has this a neo kind of like soul flair to it that I really enjoy.
I really enjoy the single a lot. I've been listening to it a lot. We got it earlier, maybe a couple weeks ago, right before our break, and just been listening to it a bit throughout the past week and a half or so. Really enjoy it. It's an awesome indie track, and one of those things I've been saying how women artists in indie have been killing it. Last Audio Face and now this Audio Face, we got some guys indies coming back up, and this is definitely one of my favorite pieces I've heard so far.
Yeah, Indie
It's good.
Boy's up a few points now. It's great to hear,
Yes.
great to see. Um, some other just some information while we're here. So that song was co-produced by Kevin Basco, who's previously worked with Foxygen and Rubber Band Gun. And Ryan Egan will have a debut EP currently scheduled to drop in April of 2022. So God willing, we'll be able to listen to that episode, or listen to that album,
Yep.
check that out. And yeah, this particular song was recorded in winter 2020 in between Philly, New York City, and New Jersey. And he also wanted to say that he's a frequent listener of the show, and he's particularly interested in reaching the type of diehard music fans and creatives that make up our audience, which I think was flattering to not just us, but our audience. Yet another way to get to the top of the queue. No, I'm just kidding. No, but thank you, Ryan, for sending that in. And more importantly, thank you for the track. I think it was really good.
Yeah, agreed. There's a
Yes.
Coldplay and BTS single, but we don't give one single fuck. So moving right on, we got the Beach Then Ballroom by Idols.
Yes, and we don't care because A, we talked about Coldplay's single earlier, and
And I
B,
already mentioned that.
we have a singles rule where we don't talk about the entire album until we listen to one single and we wait till the albums come out. And C, we've done a whole Coldplay episode. There's a whole Coldplay saga with Sean and I. So, well, Sean and Coldplay specifically that I've been privy to, and we can all be audience to that you can check out in the archives of the Audio Face podcast. But moving on to the Beachland Ballroom by Idols. I picked this because it's really interesting. Idols is a punk band. This is produced by
Yes.
Kenny Beats, the
Yeah.
like rap producer who was previously an EDM producer. So I was really interested in how it sounded, and I'm really pleased with the result.
This is a amazing track. It's really, really well done. Like it's really slow and it builds up almost into this like it starts off almost this like slower dance song and whatnot, and it keeps building. You'll have this really nice crescendos back and forth, and that keeps building and building towards the end, and it just there's so much emotion that's building up through it, and it's produced very well, and that's awesome track. Really, really like it.
Yeah. Um, I was definitely really impressed. I think it definitely stands to see the versatility of Kenny Beats, the producer, but also just like a great Idol song as well. I don't know if I think I may have
Mhm.
recommended Idols as music recommendations. I don't think we've gotten to a full review yet, but
No, but we've talked about it before for sure, and I've listened to them a bit here and there as well.
yes. Next we have Pondicherry by DJ Snake and Mala. This is purely just like indulgence for me, honestly. I love DJ Snake and I like Mala as well, part of like the like future house French touch scene, I guess if you will.
Yep.
And this is very much like that carrying the torch, if you will, into the future house thing. It's a very like sort of standard track, nothing like groundbreaking EDM wise. I don't think you would disagree with me, Sean.
No, I think it's good. DJ Snake is interesting because his album of God, Carte Blanche, Blanche. I'm terrible at pronouncing that. There's that song of Enzo, which is my favorite worst song ever. With Sheck West, Offset, and 21. It was just horrible but hilarious at the same time, and it's on like my work playlist now, or has been for the past 2 years. So it's interesting to hear like the more dancing stuff track from DJ Snake, and I really like this one. Really like this one a lot.
Yeah, I was pretty pleased with it, and it's good to hear you liked it, because I would even say, like, okay, this isn't, like, groundbreaking EDM, this is just, like, my standard
No,
future
no,
house stuff that I like listening
yeah,
to just in general, but, yeah, I like the pairing very much. I'd love to see a DJ Snake and Mala sort of, like, dual project together, sort of
yeah,
like we had, I mean, like, one of my favorite EDM projects just personally is, Chami and Mala working together, on that project. Just super groovy, hard, future house. It's great, I highly recommend
yes.
that. Next up, we have Fallen Star by The Neighborhood. Sean, wanna go into that?
Yeah, so we didn't get to review Chip Chrome and the monotones from the week from the neighborhood last year. I think it's just like super busy, whatever. I know I brought it up before, and I thought it was actually a pretty decent album that came out, kind of like a pivot compared to their older sounds. I've been listening to Neighborhood for a long time. They released this single right now, so the first one since their album, and I thought it was decent. It's kind of like a accumulation of other sounds from their previous 4 albums or so. A little bit slower of a song and whatnot, but I thought it was well produced, well made, and whatnot. Nothing crazy. I do like the way that their sound has evolved and their artistry has evolved. Everything with the past couple albums too.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear it's a slower song, definitely, but it feels well produced. It feels like it has a lot of like punch to it. It has a lot of like care and thought to it. So
Yes.
and yeah, I do remember it was just came out during a very particularly busy time in Audioface. We really want to work in the future on finding ways to figure out how to expand on the sort of like how many albums we can review in a given week, but more on that a lot later, let's say.
Yeah. Yeah.
And lastly, this week, and we're gonna hold our tongue because this is kind of just a tease for No Chill Island. We have
Jesus Christ.
Love by Grimes. This is a song that was released on Grimes's Instagram page, perhaps for the better, and it's sort of a track that is, meant to be a response to the reaction surrounding Grimes's relationship with Elon Musk that we'll be talking about later on in
Privacy.
this
All that.
episode. Yeah, has been recently ended, but it's also kind of a reflection on, yeah, like Sean was saying, privacy and the way social media is like interacting with her in this sort of context and how she feels with that.
It's okay.
She's entitled she's entitled to, express
She's
herself
entitled to do it.
musically, and
Always.
I'm well in the camp of, I didn't like Donda very much, but I do think Kanye producing music outside of that relationship yielded a little bit of a better result than Kanye during most of the Kardashian relationship, and so I think Grimes, like, the song production-wise feels, you know
Actually, it's very good.
it's not bad. Um
I think like for making a song in a week, like the production, everything is great. I just think I don't like necessarily like her art form. I think she's too self-centered and everything with a lot of the stuff naturally. But the production of it, the vocal quality, everything wasn't half bad for it. So it was decent.
Yes, I was pretty yeah, I think we'll save most of our thoughts for,
And then yeah, we'll get to that.
yes, definitely. And so now I'm going to get to the plugs and, try to make sure your mic check the message I sent, by the way, on the thing. But anyways, plugs. We have the 2021 AF playlist that we are updating every single week, and we just added a lot of things to it this week as well. So it is really good, and we want you to check it out. We added a lot of great songs to it, and you can find it in the podcast description or the video description, pretty much wherever you are listening to this. Check out all of our bonus episodes. Kendrick Lamar has been in a lot in the news. Top of the morning, top of the morning, and we did a Kendrick Lamar bonus episode, episode number 156 bonus of Audioface. You can check that out on youtube.com/audiofacepod. You can check that out in the podcast, wherever you get podcasts, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on Stitcher. Haven't shouted those out recently, so there are those there. We've also done past bonus episodes where we do deep dive into an artist's history on Radiohead, Caro Caro Bonito, Daft Punk, MF Doom. And we also talk about some subjects and topics as well, like the State of Music 2021, where we just talk about what is popular music sounding like, what's indie music sounding like. We do kind of a broad stroke of the whole thing. You can help grow Audioface by following us at Audioface Pod on Twitter, on Instagram, all those different things. Go to youtube.com/audiofacepod and yeah, subscribe to us. Rate it 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. These are all free ways you can help us grow, and we really appreciate it because we have been a growing, and it's all because of your support, and we really appreciate it. It helps us
Mhm.
really do this. New Power Report's a banger. It is.
Yeah.
If you've ever been listening to the podcast and Sean or I say no politics, and you're like, no, 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 more politics, more politics, you get a
Which
treat
is like
because
1.5 people.
yes, yeah, I'm sorry, but if you uh, if you are those people, 1.5 persons, check out part 2 of the most recent Power Report episode that should be dropping shortly after, or basically available when you're listening to this episode of Audioface. 33 episode 33 of Power Report, because Sean's on the second part, and we go in on the recent German I guess, like, federal elections, if you will. And there's a lot to say about those results and what it could say for the future of Germany, the future of Europe, etc. The first part of that episode is with Sandy Lovas of Left of the Box, a Canadian political YouTuber that I've been on Sandy's show before. It's a really great leftist look into Canadian politics, and we talked about the Canadian elections in the first part of that episode. So check that out at powerreport.world. You can check out Power Report wherever you get podcasts. It's rad. It's great. It's in a YouTube. It's at youtube.com/Dan from the internet if you're searching it on there. I'm going to work on search engine optimization on YouTube for Power Report because that's interesting. And Power Report, just like Audioface, is made to sound better and mastered to sound nicely by Peter at Dead Music Productions. Thank you, Peter. That's the brand of the thing at Dead Music 666.